Hey guys, Lotu for Life here with a brand new Chaoticast, and today's special guest is the up and coming YouTuber RaimusaRud, who also does chaotic stuff on a much more consistent basis than me. So go ahead and tell us about yourself a little bit.
Yeah, thank you for letting me be on. My name is RaimusaRud or RaimusaRud, however you want to say his name. But yeah, I've been making chaotic YouTube videos for I think close to about 9 months now. Been enjoying it, loving the hype train as we're getting ready for chaotic to come back. But yeah, you can just call me Rud, and obviously, if any of you viewers want to see some chaotic content, feel free to check out my channel. But yeah, that's about it.
Yeah, and I will definitely link your channel down below so that people can check you out and everything. So yeah, I unfortunately came very unprepared. So, Musa, do you have any topics you want to talk about in particular?
No, you're good. Well, I watched your episode the last episode with Crawl Chronicler, and I really enjoyed that. He's been a help to me as well as making some videos and stuff. But
Mm-hmm.
so I was trying to think of some stuff maybe we could talk about that wouldn't be exactly the same, but obviously have a lot of similar questions and stuff. But I
Mm-hmm.
guess right off the bat, with both of us being creators, I didn't know if you had any thoughts about moving forward, like as a chaotic creator, stuff you want to do, or maybe even stuff you'd want to see the chaotic people do to sort of include us or use the
Mm-hmm.
creators with the relaunch.
Pardon me. So
You
right
good?
off the bat, me personally with my channel, things are gonna be slow as molasses on across all three of my channels until May. um, it might be a bit of a spike after like midway through March because I do have spring break, but I'm also planning on working that entire time because final semester, getting overworked, no time for
Yeah.
fun stuff in the afternoon or anything. Uh, so once like May rolls around and I finally get free time again, the floodgates are gonna open for videos. That's my goal. That's my goal at least.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna hate myself for saying that because then May's gonna roll around and I'm gonna have no energy from working 40-hour work weeks again. But um, I really want to start doing more stuff. I got into the swing of things and being comfortable with doing deck profiles, like a lot of the time. But like that, like I don't know. I don't feel like I'm a good enough deck builder in chaotic at least to
Right.
really be able to justify that. Not to mention I don't have all the cards, and I haven't dedicated any time to learn untap. I did make an account. I think. I hope I did. But haven't had any time to make that or do that. Uh, but yeah, I want to start doing more stuff. I really want to do more with the Chaoticast too. There's just all sorts of cool stuff. I want to try and get some people on here that I think people are gonna really love. I've been thinking about trying to contact Ikeda, but he's never on Discord. And then I honestly want to try and reach out to Ganon. I doubt he'll take it, but it would be. I'd probably die of a heart attack if he actually said yes.
Yeah.
Like he finally opened up his DMs, and I'm like, oh god, I want to talk to him. I want to send him a message, but what do I tell him? What do I
Right.
say? Like oh my god, I don't know.
Yeah. I know the
There's
feeling.
yeah, like there's so much I want to tell the guy, and I don't know where to start.
Yeah.
uh, but yeah, I got a whole bunch of other plans. I would also really like to either make lore videos or see somebody else do it. My big thing is I don't know editing at all. I just found out how to just put a picture over a video, which people are gonna love a upcoming video with that. I just need to find time to actually sit down and edit it. I hate the sound of my own voice, so I rarely watch my own videos.
Yeah. I know the feeling.
So
Yeah.
yeah, it's there's a lot of stuff I want to do, a lot of stuff I want to see, and I can't wait to see what kind of crazy stuff people come up with.
Yeah.
I've watched a few of your videos, and dude, I love what you do for like dual videos with all like if I remember right, it's been a while since I've watched one. You do like a bunch of editing for it, Like you kind of remind me of Galactic God doing that. Like if you've ever heard of him.
No, I don't think I have heard of him, but I appreciate the compliment.
If you ever get a chance, search up Galactic God. He used to be once upon a time one of the biggest Yu-Gi-Oh YouTubers, and
Gotcha.
he did a lot of live duels. And whenever he would do those, he would go and edit in like life point counters, turn counters,
Mm-hmm.
hand like stuff, so that people could see exactly what each player had in their hand and everything. And he would like even add in the sound effects for the TV show,
Yeah,
and he made it into just this really crazy thing, and it always made live duels so much more fun to watch. But
that's cool.
yeah, he quit a while back doing stuff because family life. I think he had a kid and some other stuff going on. I can't remember, and just no time for Yu-Gi-Oh and no time for like YouTube. So
Yeah.
so
Yeah, well, yeah, I try to put as much effort as I can into my videos. I'm sure, as life is busy and it's hard to find time to make consistent videos. But yeah, I try to make as quality videos as I can. But it's also really cool. I mean, for you to say that you don't think you know how to edit videos, but man, you've been doing it for a long time, especially just making chaotic content. I mean, I've been watching your videos for a long time, and I'm sure people are really thankful you've been making videos for as long as you have.
thanks. Yeah, I okay. I'll be 100% honest. Whenever people start complimenting, I get like really bashful. I have no idea what to
No,
say.
you're good, man. Yeah, no, I know.
But yeah, I really don't know how to edit. The only thing the most amount I know how to do is how to splice another video into a video. I figured that out way back when I did my first ever chaotic video. Well, not my first ever, because technically that was a random box opening. But whenever I did the whatever happened to chaotic video, I really
Yeah,
wanted to incorporate the intro into it somehow and do let's get chaotic. And oh my god, I just want
right.
to punch my like high school self, 'cause that was so cringy, especially like rewatching it. I mean, I still really, really, really appreciate how coincidentally the chaotic intro just happens to transition so well in that. Like,
Yeah,
whenever, like, not so much the transition into it, but the transition out of it. The intro, ends with like the camera going through a music counter and everything, and then just like the
right.
big boom, the do 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 or whatever. I don't know. And it transitioned so perfectly well in that video, and that was completely by accident.
That's funny.
Yeah, I just recorded one video of the like 3 minutes saying, "Hey, this is what's going on." Then spliced in then like just hit insert. And by the way, I was using Windows Movie Maker at the time, and I still do. That's my preferred way, and I know people are going to cringe about that. I am learning Sony Vegas.
Oh, nice.
That is my goal, and actually, yeah, I got it right over here. I know you can't see it, but the people watching can. So yeah, but I digress. I'm trying to learn that, and yeah, it's just as simple as just like hitting open, waiting for everything to render, hitting open again, making sure the video went to the end of the video, waiting for it all to render, then going again, and putting in the last video.
Yeah,
And that's kind of how I do the end cards too. They're crappy end cards, but they're better than nothing. I want to improve them too, but that's
yeah, man.
I don't know, that means a lot to me that you said that, because I I just do what I can with the knowledge I can with the time I can, and it means a lot to me that I've managed to build up even what I have. And God, I don't know what else to say. I don't know what else to say.
No, you're good. I mean, yeah, it's just cool that you've been making chaotic content for so long, regardless of however you're editing it or whatever. I've enjoyed watching it. So yeah. But I was wondering, when chaotic eventually does relaunch, if it does, do you think they'll be inclined to do any sort of like partner program with creators? Like that would kind of be my dream, is if they included us somehow in helping with the relaunch.
So I know for a fact that they want to do something. Dragonics is on the Chaotic Discord.
Yeah,
I don't know if you know. Do you know who Dragonics is?
Yeah. I've been looking at that thread since he's been active on the Discord. Yeah,
Yeah, if you get a chance, dig back through the logs, back to I think around the time when he first came on. He confirmed that he's going to be like the community manager or something, and that they do have a plan to uh, have like to do stuff with the creators, with content creators, which
gotcha.
I think is super important. That's part of the reason Bakugan was so successful ever since
Yep.
Revival, was that fact that they just like contacted all the big Yu-Gi-Oh and Magic YouTubers and were like, hey, uh, Bakugan's coming back. Want to do stuff to promote us? We'll pay you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm hoping Chaotic does stuff like that too. God, I'll do it for free. I'm planning on doing it for free no matter what. Like, good lord, the instant stuff goes live for pre-orders, I have never bought a case of packs before, but God, I am so tempted once the Chaotic comes back.
Yeah. Yeah. For real.
uh, on that note, also, I remember there's a very, very, very small YouTuber, or at least he was at the time. I don't know if he's grown at all. Called Dead TCGs or something like that on YouTube,
Mm-hmm.
and he covered Chaotic a while back, and he follows Ganon. And when Ganon made the announcement that hey, Chaotic's coming back, he Dead TCGs replied to him like, oh well, now I can't cover Chaotic anymore, and Ganon actually replied to him saying, hey, we'll contact us. We'll see if we can work with you and stuff. And I was like, dude, that's awesome. I still haven't got to
Yeah.
Ganon to reply to me on Twitter.
Yeah. Well, I'm
uh,
sure he gets flooded with chaotic fans talking to him a lot.
oh
So
yeah, I go back to that tweet every now and then, see what if how many likes it's at.
yeah.
For some reason, my like keeps going away. Every time I go to it, my like disappears, and I'm like, okay, I have to reheart it, and then go back, and it's gone again. I'm like, what the hell, Twitter?
Yeah. Well,
So, oh,
I actually live in California, so I'm kind of hopeful that I'd be able to do something like in person to help with the revival if they need anything. But
mm-hmm.
it's kind of like just wishful thinking as a fan. But who knows when they'll even start that up and what they'll need help with. But yeah, it's kind of a long shot dream of mine to actually help them restart the game.
Yeah, even if you can't do something directly with them, if you have a local card store that you go to a lot, try talking to them.
Yeah.
Whenever the announcement was, well, I mean, when the revival was announced, I was at my locals, and dude, I legit threw my phone. I was so excited. Thankfully, well, I threw it like 2 feet up in the air, but I caught it. But I digress. And my local store owner was like, "What's going on?" And I explained to him the situation. And I've talked his ear off about Chaotic in the past. He vaguely remembers it, and he's like, "Dude, well, if the revival happens and it does well, or at least gets started, talk to us, and we'll see about having you like teach us how to play, and we can get it going and stuff here." And oh my god, I am so hyped for that.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Yeah, I've talked to local like card stores and like comic book stores that carry trading cards and stuff out here. And anytime I ask someone if they like have any chaotic cards or have ever like they they don't remember anything about it. It seems like it was so long ago that it's kind of a lost memory. But
Mhm.
yeah, hopefully it comes back and does well.
It almost seems like it got memory hold by some people. Like people are like, "Oh, I kind of remember that," or "What
Yeah,
is that?" uh,
yeah.
I've only ever found chaotic cards twice in a store after the game died. Once was like,
Really?
yeah, once was at a freaking oh god, I want to say it was a Circle K or something like that. I'm not joking.
That's funny.
There was a time in like the mid to late 2000s where gas stations would sell cards. Like I remember even getting a
Hmm.
Yu-Gi-Oh pack from one once when I was a kid, and they just happened to have a pack of chaotic cards. I don't remember if I bought it or not, especially since I was in like middle or high school.
Yeah.
But I saw those once there, and then another time when I was at my locals, somebody brought a binder full of chaotic cards up to the store trying to sell them. for one thing, they weren't going to buy him even if he had anything expensive, and secondly, he had like all commons and rares.
Yeah.
Yeah, I flipped through it and was like, please let me find something good. Please let me find. Oh, okay, it's just all commons and rares.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't seen any since the game died, except for I think it was like a year and a half ago.
Mm-hmm.
My dad is actually like in the toy and game industry, and he was at a convention, and he sent me a video of this booth, and they were selling booster boxes like from every series for like 20 or $10,
Mm-hmm.
and like I didn't get anything, but like looking back on that, I was like, man, I wish I bought like every box they had, like
Mm-hmm.
because it was just so cheap even for the time. But yeah, I haven't seen anything since then.
Yeah, I've heard, I've seen stories and people sharing them on Twitter and stuff of people finding chaotic cards at like vendors at like anime conventions and Comic Con and stuff like that.
Yeah.
There was one guy who posted something about it and how he was at like a Comic Con San Diego or something like that, and this vendor was selling like every major set of chaotic, and they were all like $20 each for a box.
Yeah.
And oh my god, I wish I could get that lucky. I would.
Yeah.
I would. So I don't think I've talked about it on my chaotic channel, but my other like passion for like collecting other than cards and stuff is figures.
Uh
I would gladly drop like all my money on chaotic over figures.
huh.
I actually got a
Yeah.
couple figures in today, which I'm pretty happy about.
That's cool.
uh, anyway, so uh, I wanted to kind of turn it on you. Like, what are you kind of hoping for to see from like content creators and stuff?
Like other creators, or like from the chaotic company themselves, or what do
Uh,
you mean
I
exactly?
mean, well, you asked me like what I'm planning on to do, and like,
Oh, gotcha.
yeah, so I figured
Yeah.
I'd ask you the same thing. Like, what do you plan on
Yeah.
doing? What do you hope to see from other creators and all that? So,
Yeah. Um, well, I think for the moment, I'll just keep posting similar things. I have some stuff, some unopened packs I'll keep slowly opening, and I've been trying to give away whatever cards I pull and stuff, and also doing like gameplay videos when I can. Just trying to be consistent. But I think once we get like an official announcement and people start getting hyped about the comeback, and there's a lot more people who are coming back to the game, or I guess being curious about the game. I think then I'll probably try to post a lot more and maybe a little more variety. But right now it's tough. Like as I'm sure you know, you've been posting for a long time. It's there is a good number of chaotic fans out there, but it's kind of a set number, especially since it's a card game that doesn't exist anymore. You know, it's there's only so many people that really care, which is fine, but it's just it's not the best return on investment of your time to spend too much time on it because there's only so many people that care to see it.
yeah,
But
I'm actually like super close to getting this channel monetized. I just got to get to 1,000 subs,
that's
and I'm
cool.
about halfway on watch time. So
Yeah.
that would be really nice. I'm gonna be honest. My view count on my chaotic channel is typically like double whatever my view count on my Yu-Gi-Oh channel is.
Oh wow.
Well, I think it's because you look at the Yu-Gi-Oh community. There's a bazillion Yu-Gi-Oh content creators. I'm a drop
Yeah.
in the bucket.
Right.
How many chaotic creators is there? Like, there's me, you.
Consistently, yeah, I know there's myself and you, and I mean, no one else comes to mind that I know like has been consistent as of recent.
Yeah, Speed Player
But
A
yeah,
hasn't done a video in forever. He's actually got like some of the most informational stuff out there. So if you guys
that's
haven't,
cool.
yeah, if you guys haven't watched Speed Player A's stuff, I do recommend it. He comments on my videos every now and then, so hopefully he will. And if not, I'll link him down below. But yeah, he's got some of the most informational stuff. Like he has a whole series about videos. A whole video series about cards that completely changed the way that people played the game, or that like shook up the meta really bad. So That was really interesting because when I was a kid, I knew nothing about the meta. I just played whatever I thought was cool.
Yeah, same.
Like, I kind of knew that Champion of the Guard was a really good card, but I just played him because Prince Medinu was really cool.
Yeah, yeah, I know the feeling.
Mhm.
What was your experience like back when the website was still active, like playing the game? Like, yeah, what was it like for you playing back when the game was still active?
It was something I had never experienced before, and honestly, really haven't since.
Yeah,
The community was great. The online service was great. It was just so much fun. I will never forget when I first started playing and everything. It was so weird because when growing up, I grew up in the boonies, in the middle of nowhere.
yeah,
Okay, and even after moving into the city, no one in within the 10 mile radius played any kind of card game for and so I did little more than collect cards, and I even stopped for a while because there was no point. They would just sit in my binder and gather dust, and I'd look at them from time to time, and occasionally build decks and play against myself. I'm not joking. I got that desperate sometimes as a kid. So one day I was watching like four kids. I can't remember. I think I was watching Yu-Gi-Oh! 5Ds because I was getting really into that. And there was an ad for Chaotic, and I'm like, well, that looks interesting. A card game you can play online. So I hopped on the computer, made an account. I actually still use the account name that I have for that on a lot of stuff. DarkRide110. That's my
that's
PS.
funny.
Yeah, that's my PSN, and it's my Twitch name, and it's part of the reason why I don't ever use Twitch. And somebody took Low for Life on Twitch too, which really, really annoys me because I wanted to make another account with my actual known username, and I'm
Yeah,
like, oh, okay,
that's
okay.
funny. That's the reason I used RaimusaRud is because that was my name back on the chaotic website. I just kept the same name, but yeah,
Yeah, I actually have a personal YouTube account that I use just to watch videos, called DarkRide110. But I don't make videos or anything on it. I did try when
gotcha.
I was a kid, but I actually privated them all. I've been tempted to put them back up, because really the Kappa thing never went anywhere. And they're all garbage. I'm talking. I recorded them on my iPod Touch, and uploaded them onto YouTube, and oh god, I was so stupid as a kid. But anyway, so I was hooked from the get go. I remember I chose my Pedians because they were cool, and they were closest thing to dragons or dinosaurs, and I was like, okay, I'm going with them. Um, and I remember winning my first duel and thought it was really cool, and I still remember opening my first pack and everything. That was so awesome. I've
Yep.
told that story 100 times over. Pulled Infight out of my first pack, which was a super rare. It's a bad super rare, but it's a super rare.
Yeah.
And God, it was just so cool to actually be able to play a card game with other people. Like, wow.
Yeah.
Uh, and I
It really
remember.
was. Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I
Go
remember. Sorry, you got me on a nostalgia trip now, but
ahead.
I remember I got into a good 10 win streak, and I think I've told this story before, but screw it, I'll tell it again because it's just a funny one. And I got really, really cocky. Okay, because I thought, yeah, I'm the best there ever was. Yeah,
Yeah.
because I was at a 10 win streak. But here's the thing: I was doing against other kids probably, and
Yeah.
so I looked at the rankings, and if somebody was on the rankings, you could go and challenge them at any time. And I wanted to challenge the best player in the game. I don't remember his name, but I wanted to challenge him. He was not on. But the second best player was. So I remember his screen name was Dad Rocks 123. Uh, that was Dad Rocks spelled with an X instead of a CK because I don't know, edgy stuff. But so yeah, I challenged him, and so me with my dinky little Mepedian deck comprised of nothing but common and rare Mepedians, because good lord, I had a crap time pulling good cards as a kid.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, so I went into it, and he accepted, and he had Kaor, Lord Von Blute, and all these other like really big. He had a like competitive, big time underworld deck, and
Yeah.
I think I got really close to killing his KR once. Like I got him down to like 20 HP, and then he just kind of swept me. It wasn't even a challenge.
Yeah. I've had plenty of those games back in the day when the website was active, just getting steamrolled. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it was fun for sure. It was definitely ahead of its time. Like that website and everything about Chaotic. It's just kind of a bummer that it didn't last longer than it did. But
Yeah.
it was fun.
So funny thing about that story I was telling, I actually became really good friends with him. He'd give me free cards because he hated Mepedians, so he'd give me the codes for his Mepedians that were commons from rares he'd pull. Uh,
That's cool.
yeah. God, I'll tell you though, I remember when they switched from using the app to like the uh, in browser thing. I was so
Yep.
upset because the browser would not work on my computer.
Oh,
And
really?
yeah, so I could not play those last few months of Chaotic.
Oh,
I
jeez.
yeah, I remember, dude. I think I told this in my embarrassing stories video. I went on the forums, made a huge like a big stupid post about like I can't play and we need the app back or whatever, and I got totally roasted by the community. I'll be honest, and I deserved it. Um, so yeah, I quit, and then like a month later, I go back just to see what's up, and the page looked exactly the same as it did when I left. Like the
Yeah.
updates were still the same, and I was so confused. And I go onto the forums, and everybody's like, "The game's dead," and I'm like, "I killed the game." And because again, stupid middle or high school, or I can't remember what. Oh no, no,
Right.
I was in middle school. I was in middle school because I remember going into my middle school library and everybody was talking about it. And yeah, I got so scared I killed the game that because I thought that my cringy post made everybody quit.
That's funny.
So yeah, I got so scared about it that I actually did a lot of research into how chaotic, like what was going on, and yeah, that's what ended up like. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember going to Target and they had the tins and they were 50% off. And I was like, oh, this is awesome. And then I was like, I wonder why they're like all on sale. Then I go home and check online and see that Chaotic was dead. Yeah, it was definitely a bump. That sucked.
hmm I'll never forget that about a year or two later, I got the urge to go play again, and the servers were still up and everything. The servers didn't die until like 2013, I think, give or take, something like that.
Yeah,
So they stayed up for a good few years, and I could not for the life of me remember my password.
that
And
sucks.
on top of that, because they did not have automated bots to send anything out. So if you
Mm-hmm.
submitted a request to change your password, somebody actually had to manually say yes. But because they had no
Dang.
staff, because
Right.
yeah, so I never got back in. I made another crappy account. Um, I could never get it past the. So there was like, if I remember right, yeah. So there was, you could, whenever you made an account, you had to like verify your email in order to be able to like put your cards online. And
Right.
because nobody was there to send that email, I could never put my cards online. So here I am playing a
Dang.
crappy starter deck, just getting destroyed by all
Yeah.
this.
That
uh,
sucks.
yeah, it was. God, I know people are like talking like, oh, we should all get our old accounts back, and I'm like, no, that account. For one thing, I don't remember the password. Secondly, it was attached to my aunt's email because I didn't have an email at the time. And thirdly, I don't think she has that email anymore. It's a business email that she threw all her spam at. And yeah, I I would be locked out of my old account, and that would be very sad.
Yeah. Well, speaking of having old things back, I'm sure you know that Gannon had mentioned that he plans to honor the old codes, but I'm not even sure like how they would do that. Like, I'm guessing he's like saying that they have a database with all the old codes and what cards they go to, but that just seems like it would be so difficult to pull off.
So I don't know how much you know about how to like whole thing works, but there was a program called the Codex, uh,
Gotcha.
and this Codex was the program that would randomly generate each and every single unique code. And with
Gotcha.
it, you could also create any code that you wanted. I only noticed because there was a big effort a few years back by some people who were trying to make a version of the app, uh, but like that like anybody could play, and they were really wanting to push for getting that codex, but because it's a trademarked program and everything, and also, if I remember right, the guys who were trying to put that all together were specifically told that they couldn't give up the codex due to a particular reason that like they still wanted to use it for something or whatever.
Huh.
Uh, they that whole plan fell through. But I digress. As long as they still have that codex, as long as they still have that program and get to it, they can still use any and all of the old codes, as well as also make new codes. So
Gotcha.
yeah, and honestly, personally for me, due to the fact that so many of us have become so cavalier about not really caring about our codes being seen and everything. I mean, it would
Right.
not surprise me one bit if somebody has scoured through all my videos and copied down every single one of my codes. It would not surprise me
Yeah.
one bit. There are people
Yeah.
out there who would do that, and just like as I'm sure there's somebody out there who would go and claim my low tier for life name on chaotic dot whatever they call it.
Right.
Oh god, that would be a very dickish move. Please, nobody do
Yeah.
that. I don't want to have to add the real low tier for life at the front. No,
Yeah.
make it sound like I'm an arrogant jerk. But God, personally, I think that like at most they should do for honoring the codes. There's really two ways I think that they should go about it. Either A, have a legacy format where you can play with the old cards and everything and have fun with that, and then have the new format with all the new cards, or B, be able to like turn in those codes for like chaotic coins or something that like you can use to like buy
Yeah.
digital packs or customize your avatar or something. Like
Yeah, that'd be cool.
yeah, those are the only two ways that I could see them doing that. Otherwise, I better hope I'm not at work whenever they launch everything, so I can hop on and start putting all my important codes in.
Yeah. Well, I'm
God,
sure they'd probably tell us when they're doing that. But
yeah.
yeah. How long do you think it'll be till we have new product back on the shelves and stuff?
So I know Dragonics has said that they've been trying to get an announcement out for the past 2 months. Like originally, we were going to have an announcement by the end of the year, and then it
Right.
got pushed to like January to February to March, and who knows when now. Um,
Yeah.
I expect we'll have an announcement probably by mid-year or the end of this year. That's my rough guess, and then
Yeah.
I would be surprised if we got product before the end of the year. But honestly, I think that they will probably push product out next year. They
Yep.
sorry.
No, you're good. I was just agreeing with you. I think
Oh,
next year is probably a safe bet.
mhm. The only argument I can see for trying to get it out this year is in time for the holiday rush in winter. That is the
Yeah.
only reason I can see them doing it this year, and I don't think that'd be a very smart move. In all honesty, the winter times are very, very, very busy time of the year for a lot of people, and a lot of people just won't want to dedicate the time to sit down and play a new card game.
Yeah. Yeah, I get that. I mean, where Gannon was in that tweet that he put out, back in the summer, whatever, like, I think he was at a convention basically saying, like, hey, I have the rights, and he was there trying to find, a company that would want to back it and work with him. So I think like where they're at, they've got to be in a process of like trying to either find someone to work with or, smoothing out all the details of who they are working with to push product out. And then, once they do that, like it probably be hard for them to get product out by the end of this year, but it's not impossible. But I do think it's probably more likely that it'll be next year.
So they actually already have a licensing. So that oh god, what was it called? That was a licensing bureau. That is
Right.
a licensing convention. That is basically a
Right.
convention where companies go to show off what products and whatever they have. Okay,
Right.
and that was a booth run by a company called Epic Story Media. This is a relatively new company to my knowledge. I haven't really found too much about them. Here's their website, so you can take a look at it. I actually have it pulled
Gotcha.
up
Sweet.
on my thing. And I've been planning on doing a video talking about this. I think I actually showed them in a one of the videos talking about Chaotic coming back and everything. But Epic Story Media acquired a whole bunch of... Oh, they took Selecterra off of their page, but oh well. They showed off a whole bunch of their stuff that they got, and Chaotic is under that. And to my knowledge, they should have the full rights to everything. Because
Gotcha.
they have the TV show shown off, they had the product at the convention, and so they have a company backing them for the licensing and everything. They just
Gotcha.
mainly, right now, depending on how much they want to change up the game, I hope they don't change it too much. I think the game was almost perfect as is. The only real thing I'd add is like a side deck. But that's beside the point. To that extent, though, depending on how much they want to change up, the only real thing that they would have to worry about now is getting product on shelves and finding manufacturers. So, well, I guess the other way around. Finding manufacturers and getting product on shelves. So they need a manufacturing company and a shipping company. So that's like their two main things to my limited knowledge on like how card games work and all that.
Right.
Yeah, because they have the licensing. They need the printing and the shipping and all that fun stuff.
Right.
And
And they would still have to strike up a deal with, Target or whoever, or if they were able to reach out to all these mom and pop toy stores, card game stores across the country. Like that deal would still have to get done with people who would actually put the product on their shelves.
Yeah, and that's what I was really talking about with shipping is they need to find a distributor.
Yeah.
Personally, in all regards, I hope to God they stay away from Upper Deck, and I don't even know if Upper Deck's still around, but Upper Deck and Wizards of the Coast. Wizards of the Coast has run every single card game they've ever touched into the ground, with the exception of...
Yeah, I heard you talking about that last episode. Yeah.
Every single card game Wizards of the Coast has touched, with the exception of Magic, and I think they do Pokemon too, they have run into the ground. And heck, Magic is bleeding players right now, bleeding money right now. The fan base doesn't like them. Magic, I think... I would be very surprised if it lasts another 10 years, unless Wizards just gets their act together. Pokemon, I don't ever see going, because it's Pokemon, the most profitable thing in the world.
Yeah.
So, with that being said, I hope to God to stay away from those. And then Upper Deck has had... I don't think they've had a single successful card game other than Yu-Gi-Oh!, which... Yu-Gi-Oh! Jumped ship from them as soon as they could, and then Bandai was still making counterfeit cards. So, sorry, not Bandai, Upper Deck, which I think might be owned by Bandai, I don't know. But yeah. So I really hope that they either distribute it themselves or handle all that themselves, or find whoever distributes Yu-Gi-Oh! Stuff and makes Yu-Gi-Oh! Stuff, get them. Yu-Gi-Oh! Has good card quality overall.
Yeah.
But yeah. That's what's my little 2 cents. I'm probably gonna make a whole dedicated video to ranting about Wizard of the Coast one of these days, and get a whole lot of downvotes because the Wizards has a huge devoted fan base. Like, it's scary how crazy the crazy Wizards fans get. Like, it's almost as bad as crazy Pokemon fans.
Yeah, I'm sure. Well, that gives me hope that they already, are working with the company, and yeah, I'd hope sooner rather than later that we could get products and even a TV show. I know Gannon had mentioned something about getting the show back on air, and
Mhm.
I don't know about new episodes, but that would be really cool.
I just really hope that they just pick up straight where it left off. I would hate to see.
Yeah,
I mean, if they do a reboot, I would hope it'd be a remake, not a not a reboot. You know, if they,
right.
yeah, if they like want to start back from square one, get like a really good animation studio. I'm talking like, honestly, since they went the like anime inspired route with season two, I say
Right.
screw it, go all the way out and hire an anime studio to do it. You
Yep.
know, like, could you imagine if like Studio Bones like did it, or if like Madhouse did it, or God forbid if a UFO Table did it? Oh my goodness, that'd be beautiful. But
Yeah.
I digress. So I honestly say screw it, make it a whole like actual anime. But I don't know if they'll
Yeah.
do that or not. It'd be really cool. But yeah, I
Yeah.
just hope they pick up where they left off because the series technically left off on a cliffhanger, and while they're at it, also finish the books because I'm sure the guy who wrote the first book also has like the second and third rough draft on a computer somewhere.
Oh wow. I didn't know that.
Yeah, there was a novel release because when Chaotic died due to the lawsuit, they were actually getting ready to like go full multimedia and everything. They had
Yep.
a novel released, which I've heard it's really good. It's called The Colarian Sphere. I have not read it yet, purely because it ends on a cliffhanger and it's never been resolved because neither the second or third planned books were released.
Yeah.
So I hate unresolved cliffhangers. It drives me nuts. But I digress. I just want to see it all come back. I would love to see some video games too. I seriously get freaking Arc System Works on the phone and make a freaking chaotic fighting game. Oh my
Yeah.
god.
I think it's definitely, yeah, like one step at a time. I think, the sky's the limit with all the different forms of media that Chaotic could do, and how awesome they could be. Just I think it was just a little too ahead of its time and unfortunate with the way it worked out. But yeah, I mean, there's so much cool stuff that could be made with the whole Chaotic universe.
Yeah, definitely. So there's a lot of stuff they can go. I hope they don't like try going all in. Like as much as I'd love to see them go and do that, they really should. Take it one step at a time. Get the card
Yeah.
game going, get the TV show going, and then make sure that's stable and going good, and then branch off to the other fun stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I'm sure you may have seen I made a video game concept video for Chaotic. I just think like there could be a really cool video game idea, and even just like card game wise, it's like an app or just there's so many more features that could be used that we didn't have back in 2000 whatever when the game was still active. But
Yeah.
yeah, I'm really hopeful that they take their time and do it right because I think it's going to be awesome.
Yeah, personally, with video games, I think I watched your video like way back when it first came out. Your idea sounded cool and all, but it didn't really sound chaotic to me. But it still sounded like a cool
Yeah,
idea.
no, that was kind of the thought. Like it was definitely a reimagination of some of what Chaotic already has, but
Yeah.
yeah, it definitely was a step out from what Chaotic traditionally is. But yeah, whatever they come up with, if they ever do make a video game, I think it's going to be awesome.
hmm And then in regards to like the chaotic card game, as cool it would be to like have card games like with Yu-Gi-Oh and stuff, there's no real need for that with the digital version of the game. So what I'd rather see them do is make the chaotic card game available on everything. Like I'm talking PC, PS4, PS5, Xbox, whatever the heck the new console's called, the Switch,
Yeah.
phones, Android, iOS, everything. Get it
Yeah.
everywhere. Make it as crazy annoying to see everywhere as Hearthstone, except I'll actually be interested in playing.
Yeah.
You know, and then go above and beyond and put it on consoles too. Like, oh my god, playing Chaotic on my Switch would be so
Yeah.
wonderful.
That'd be really cool. For sure.
Mm-hmm. Alrighty, so did you have any other like stuff lined up to say talk about?
I'll check my notes, but I think we probably just about covered it all. Yeah, I think we about covered it.
Mm-hmm.
Just pumped for the re-release. I think as everyone else is, but yeah,
Yeah, and I just thought about it staring at one of my figures I got today. Something else I would really like to see Chaotic do is they kind of did it a little bit, but I'd like to see like some actual toys. Like
yeah,
a Kaor like big freaking toy or whatever, or heck, go like
yeah,
speaking as a figure collector, make some nice posed figures and scale models. I would love it, but like
yeah,
action figures are cool too.
yeah. No, for sure, that'd be really cool.
I actually have a little KR figure that I think Steven Norville sent me. That was really cool. I think he
Huh.
sent. I think he was the one who sent me. I forget people. I forget who sent what, and
Yeah, that's cool though. Yeah, I think there's so many different types of. I mean, just look at Pokemon and all the different things that they make, card game, TV show, like
mm-hmm.
collectibles, everything. Like they do so much and they do it so well that
Yeah,
I think there's so much that Chaotic could do.
dude, that actually reminds me. I was at my locals a while ago, and Pokemon just came out with like this crazy box set kind of thing, with like
Yep.
a shiny Rayquaza thing. You get like an oversized shiny Rayquaza card. I think you get a whole bunch of packs, and then you get a little shiny Rayquaza figure. And I'm like,
Huh.
what the hell? And it's like $100. And shiny Rayquaza looks so cool. I was tempted to get it, but I don't play Pokemon, so the cards kind of just sit there.
Yeah, that's cool though.
Yeah, and like, dude, Chaotic doing something like that would be really cool. Or obviously you don't want to just have them rip off everything, but
Right.
I really like how Chaotic did stuff in the past with, you getting a random card in, or heck, a random selection of cards in the decks, and then getting a pack as well. I don't like starter deck exclusives. I much more like it back
Yeah.
with the first starter decks where you could get a random like super or ultra out from the first set. Like, dude,
Right.
I pulled a Heptad and a Kaor from freaking the original Overworld and Underworld starter decks.
Dang.
Like
Yeah.
doing that made me more motivated to go out and buy starter decks again.
Yeah.
And I really like them doing that. What I don't like is sticking Ursus, Chromax, and all the others like in structure decks only.
Yeah, I heard you talking about that last episode. I did the same thing. Like probably like 5 years ago, I bought a ton of the Alliances Unraveled set because I
Mm-hmm.
just wanted Ursus. That's the only card I wanted. And I just bought a bunch of booster packs, and I didn't learn until like a year ago that he's only in the starter deck. So yeah, I wasn't a big fan of how they did that with the starter decks. But it is what it is.
Yeah. God, I do like them giving packs and starter decks too. That's really nice. Yu-Gi-Oh actually started doing that in Japan recently. They've toyed with it here in
Uh-huh.
America, but they only did that for what they called super starters, and they only did that for like a year, and that failed. So I don't know.
Gotcha. Yeah. Well, speaking of things that Pokemon has done, I know people have brought this up before, but do you think it would be at all interesting or a good idea if Chaotic did like a Pokemon Go equivalent?
I could see it working. Personally, I don't know if I would actually play it, partly because my phone is super low on space due to all the other mobile games I play.
Yeah.
But It would be interesting. I would hope that they would do it in a better way than Pokemon Go, like make it much
Yeah,
more interesting and fun.
right.
Uh, it would be really cool if, like, instead of you getting the creature or the attack or whatever in the mobile game, if it gave you a code to go and put in online and be able to, like, scan it that way, so you could treat it like you're actually on a scan quest, like what people would do
Right,
with.
yeah, that's a thought I'd had that like, yeah, what if it's like Pokemon Go that, there's, all these creatures out there and obviously, the more rare ones the better, but yeah, anything you went out and scanned, you could actually like use in the online game. I think that would be really cool.
Yeah, if they do something like that, it'd be really awesome. I know Epic Story and Media is like super gung ho on VR. Uh, I won't lie, if we ever get like a VR chaotic game or something like that, I would have to strongly consider getting a computer that can actually run it.
Yeah.
Because I don't have any way of doing VR other than my PS4, and
Yeah.
it's the old PS4. It's not the new one, so VR runs like crap on it. I mean, mostly. Uh, and I've only really got to. I don't have the PSVR thing either. I'd have to run out and get it.
Yeah.
'Cause I'm not too keen on paying for a new PS4, but for a headset.
Yeah. Haven't people been asking Dragonics about that on Discord and like people eventually had to be like stop asking them. I think they've been
Yeah,
asking them a lot about it.
it wouldn't surprise me. Dragonics can't actually go into too much detail in regards to stuff
Yeah.
like that, so it wouldn't surprise me one bit if people have been asking and they've had to go and put an end to that, because I'm sure that probably got annoying to them having to constantly say, "I can't speak about this. I can't speak about this."
Yeah.
Honestly,
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah.
yeah, honestly, I just start spamming the reply to people asking stuff that he's already said no. I don't know if you've ever seen the Melancholy of Haruhi Suzumiya, but there's a character in that series who, every time somebody tries to ask her a question, if it's something that she can't answer, she just replies, "That's classified," and it's a bit of a meme. Whenever
Yeah.
somebody like asks me something and I'm like, "I don't know it," or I can't tell you, I send it, and it drives people nuts.
That's funny.
Alrighty, so is there anything else that you want to talk about that piques your interest? Like, um, God, I don't know. I really feel like crap for not bringing anything to the table today.
No, you're good. I feel like so much we can talk about. You're good, man. I don't know. I think we about covered everything I can think of. But hey.
hmm Yeah, and I don't know. We could probably talk about like I know everybody knows what my favorite stuff is, but what's your favorite like tribes and all that fun stuff?
Yeah, tribes. Probably have to say Overworld. I think it's probably due to the fact of I got my. I remember the first thing I bought was an Overworld starter deck, and I just all I knew about the show and game was that they were like supposed to be the good guys, So I got that, and then I remember, in that first Dawn of Param Overworld deck, you get a Frafto card,
Mm-hmm.
and I just thought it looked like the coolest thing I had ever seen, and so I think it was from that moment on I was an Overworld person. But yeah, I mean, even back when the game was still active and stuff, like I was just a kid, and I thought it was so cool that just like I barely knew what I was doing, but I just thought it was a ton of fun. So I mostly would just use whatever character I thought was cool or whatever. So most of the time that was Frafto and Raimusa and Bluegon. I remember I loved Bluegon, and he was like the first card I got in a booster pack. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I've been an overworld person pretty much from the beginning, but I love every tribe, and yeah,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's kind of the same situation for me. It's that I started with my love for Mepedians, and then they got booted down to number 2 after the Marillions came out.
yeah, Brilliant is super cool for sure.
Yeah, I'm also a huge Lovecraft nerd, and the Marillions are all based on Lovecraft and everything. So
Yeah, I heard you talking about that last episode. Yeah.
yeah, I've blown some people's minds with like, oh, like for instance, the calling of Ain, that music,
Uh-huh.
yeah, that's a direct reference to the calling of Cthulhu, short story written by Lovecraft.
Oh, that's
Calling of
cool.
Yeah, the calling of
Yeah,
Ain,
I
the
didn't know
calling of
that.
Cthulhu.
Yeah, that's cool. Never thought of that.
Yeah, there's a bunch of other little tidbits you can find and dig through. Like the Marillions were originally called the Deep Ones in the old version of Chaotic, and
Yeah.
the Deep Ones is a name of a race in the Lovecraftian mythos. So,
Yeah. Yeah, I knew that. That's cool.
mm-hmm. uh, there was something you said. Oh yeah, there. So now I remember. So you said that like how like how the Overworlders were generally portrayed as the heroes and stuff. Um,
Yeah.
One thing that I really liked about the TV show, which I've been trying to rewatch a bit, is the TV show, while it does initially present it as such, it does go out of its way to show you that, hey, things aren't so black and white in war. Like,
Yeah.
there are episodes, like, there was one episode where the Overworlders were all the good guys and yada, yada, yada. And then the next episode, it's showing how horrible some of them are to the Underworlders and or the
Yeah.
Mepedians. And that is something that I really hope they don't tone down going forward.
Uh-huh.
I'd actually really like to see them go more into that aspect because that is such a really deep aspect and something that people don't really think about a lot of times because, you know, perspectives is something that's really, really important. And
Yeah.
it's crazy how a shift in perspective can warp the entire nature of a conflict. You know, like looking
Yeah.
at the 5 or 6 way war between the chaotic tribes. You know, everybody sees themselves as the good guys and everybody else as the bad guys, and
Right.
it's crazy. And they all have valid reasons for both. So it's I don't know. I just find it really interesting.
Yeah. No, it was really cool. And that's why I was kind of cautious to say they were the good guys because, yeah, they weren't always. I
Yeah.
mean, you look at Kaz, and like he obviously is a character that you pull for, and he was, friends with the Underworlders, and like there were definitely times, even though the Underworlders were made to seem like the bad guys, that you were pulling for them because of whatever situation they're in, and Kaz and all that. But yeah, no, it was definitely a really good show with that aspect, and
Mm-hmm.
kind of reminds me of I don't know if you watch Game of Thrones, but Game of Thrones is definitely a show like that where you never really knew who you were pulling for, and I think Chaotic was similar, that it didn't have one definitive bad guy except for maybe the Marillions, but
Yeah,
yeah, it was a really good
that's
show.
sorry.
No, you're good. I was done.
Sorry, I get really excited and want to speak. That was actually like my major only real issue with the story of Chaotic was that the series had no real bad guy until the Marillions, and then they were the bad guy.
Right.
I'm hoping with how the Marillions were devolving into a civil war after the fall of Ain, I'm hoping
Yeah.
they would have gone into more of that, and they kind of were with that episode with Tian and how he befriended the one Marillion. I'm really
Yeah.
hoping that they would have gone more into that because we really don't know much about the Marillions. Like we can say a lot about overworld culture, underworld culture. You know, we know a lot about the culture and histories of the other tribes, but the Marillions, they're very mysterious, and I guess that kind of goes hand in hand with it being based on Lovecraftian stuff. But
Yeah.
it makes it really interesting. Like, you know, every time I see a location that's set within the deep ocean, I'm like, I really want to go there. I'm probably gonna die, but I
Yeah.
really want to go
Yeah.
there. Like there's one location card, I can't remember which one, but you can see like the Marillion capital in the distance, and I'm like, wow, that looks so cool. I want to see it,
Yeah.
you know. And I remember reading some info like apparently I gotta fact check this, but I remember reading it on the wiki once that like apparently the Marillions, their leadership system works like that. They have like 13 or so like because they have an oligarchy, and an
Uh-huh.
oligarchy is a rule of few, but yet Ayn is directly referred to as the oligarch, which makes no sense until you realize that, oh, they have a group of 13 oligarchs, and whoever is technically like the high up guy is referred to as the actual oligarch. And I'm like, wow, that is so cool. Where is this info coming from, Wiki?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it's somewhere in a book or something. That's one of the reasons why I gotta read the Kalaran Sphere, and why I have not done lore videos yet. Because I just,
Yeah.
like, there's so much gaps and everything, and
Yeah, I mean, I think that's why Chaotic has a passionate fan base, and why I think it definitely has a good chance to be successful is that, like, it wasn't just a good card game or a good show or whatever. Like, it was things like far more than I think people give it credit for. It just was a little ahead of its time. But yeah, I'm definitely excited, especially for the TV show if they bring that back, because there's so much more that can be done with that story in that world for sure.
yeah. I actually just remembered. What do you think about the Frozen, the mysterious six tribe that
Yeah.
nobody really knows much about?
Well, it's been forever since I've watched a TV show, and so I'm sure there's a million things that I'm forgetting. But I do know, like, I've heard people talk about the Frozen, and it's basically like a tribe that was super deep within. Man, you guys talked about it last episode. I forget what you guys said it is, but I know it's a tribe that basically exists but was never released or fully talked about. But I think it sounds super cool. Just goes to show there's like so much more about that world that I'm sure they had planned out that we just never learned about. But
Yeah.
yeah, what do you think?
So we don't know much about them in terms of modern chaotic. The most we ever got about them was the flavor text on Bluegon
Right.
from Dawn of Peril, where it directly mentions the Frozen. And then in the Ultimate Guide to All Things Chaotic, it does mention the Frozen again, but only refers to them as the mysterious Six Tribe that will be talked about later. Teasing it.
Right.
The Frozen, from all that I know about, they live super deep in glacier plains. Like so far deep, I don't even think the Marillion heat cannon would have melted that ice.
Yeah.
And that's about all we know about them in terms of modern chaotic. Old chaotic, like chaotic now or never. There's a bit more info. They actually had one or two cards released. They were battle gear that were technically artifacts of the Frozen, but were capable of being used with anybody. And the
Yeah.
flavor text on one of those references that the Frozen are a matriarchal society led by a queen, and
Huh.
that's about all we got going for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it sounds cool, that's for sure. And I loved creatures like in the glacier plains, like frozen areas. Like I said, I love Bluegon and Raimusa, so I would definitely be super pumped if they finally release that tribe. Sounds awesome.
Yeah. There's also a possibility of a technical seventh tribe, which are the Spirit Landers.
Huh.
Yeah, and they do mention the Spirit Lands quite a bit, but it's basically like the afterlife or something, or like a parallel dimension. Uh,
Right.
they,
Right.
yeah, we don't know much about them. The Spirit Lands were actually a couple of locations in Now or Never. There was the Spirit Lands of Chaos and the Spirit Lands of Light, if I remember right. There was two locations, something like that. My memory's foggy on it, but like Heptad and Tang of Toborn and a few others are technically from the Spirit Lands and are technically
Huh.
Spirit Landers. That's why when Tangif dies, he doesn't really die. His sword gets broken and he's returned to the Spirit Lands because a Spirit
Gotcha.
Lander, in order to manifest in the real world, needs a like artifact that they can latch onto.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so I don't know if they're ever gonna plan on releasing any Spirit Landers themselves, unless like we get some crazy way to go to the Spirit Lands. Which, I mean, Chaotic introduced a way to go to the past. I'm sure they'll find a way to do that. Uh,
Yeah.
so it would be really interesting to see what they do with them, especially if like they incorporate the whole if they don't have their battle gear they die kind of thing into it. But that would be
Yeah.
that'd make for some interesting gameplay elements because they'd have to incorporate battle gear that can't be destroyed or something, so it doesn't become just I activate this music card that destroys you. I can't remember what it's called. Shock Song, I think is what it's called. Underworld, deal 5 damage to a creature, destroy their battle gear 2, I think is what it's called. I can't remember. Yeah, it's something like that. And I mean, that would be like an instant KO.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't know. I think it's really interesting. I doubt we'll. I don't. I mean, it'll be super far off even with the reboot. So
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. Well, speaking of reboots and new cards, I think it's cool what you guys were talking about last episode, and you even mentioned it a little bit earlier about having like legacy cards and like legacy version or whatever you called it, where like you can use the cards from the old set, and then also if you want to use the new cards, like that would be a separate thing. I think that would be a cool way to like break up maybe the nostalgic elements versus like what's actually competitive. But yeah, I mean, we'll see.
Yeah, I think if they did something like that, it'd only do it if like the game. Again, we don't know how similar the new version's going to be.
Right. Yeah.
So yeah, I'd only worry about that if I were them. If the game was so similar enough, or basically the same. On that end, again, they would have to worry about the codes being freely available everywhere online. So I don't know if they would do it, but it would be cool.
Yep, for sure.
Alrighty, so I mean, I know I've said it twice now and then come up with something after talking, but I really don't know what else to say, and it is getting kind of late. I do have other stuff I need to take care of.
No, yeah, you're good. If you gotta head out.
Yeah, I'm just wondering. Oh wow, yeah, we're just over an hour, so I wanted to hit at least that because these podcasts are always like about an hour ish.
Yeah.
Then you got the crazy one of Cover Out too.
Yeah.
But yeah, like me and him, good lord, we start talking. We could probably talk for hours and not realize what time it is.
Yeah, well, I listened to that entire episode and I really enjoyed it. So
thank you.
Yeah, man.
I'm glad you enjoyed it. I'm glad you could make it onto here. Again, I will be sure to link your stuff down below. So if you guys are interested in checking out RaimusaRud's stuff, I will be linking it down in the comments, on the pinned comment. So do check that out. If you guys want to see more episodes of the Chaoticast, I promise you I'll be more prepared with more stuff to talk about. I just this was kind of, we had like no other time. Like, you're going out of town for a while, right?
Yeah, I am. Yeah.
Yeah, and this is my last like kind of free night. Like, I really should actually be doing like school stuff right now. I say homework, but really not homework. It's more like stuff for getting my kiddos ready for homework and stuff. God, it's gonna be crazy being a teacher. But yeah, anyway, so that is everything. Do you have anything final you want to kind of say?
No, just thanks for having me on. Appreciate it. Appreciate you helping make the time work. And yeah, thanks for being a chaotic fan, chaotic creator. And I think we're all pumped for this reboot. But yeah.
Thank you. And thank you all who are watching this video. Have a great day, night, or whatever. See you later. Rate, comment, subscribe to both me and RaimusaRud, and peace out. Thank you all for watching the video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, please consider rating, commenting, and subscribing to my channel. It all goes a long way to helping out me and my channel. And also, if you do, please consider following me on social media, as well as also checking out my other channels. Thank you all for watching. Have a great day. Peace out.